Welcome to this vSphere HA and vSphere Web Client demo. My name is Duncan Epping, and today I'm going to show you how you can use the vSphere Web Client and PowerCLI to identify which virtual machines were impacted by a host failure. In my environment I've set up a cluster, and this cluster contains 4 nodes. Host H07 is the host that will fail at some point during this demo, and as you can see it currently runs a single virtual machine. Host H05 is currently the master node in our cluster, and the master node is actually responsible for restarting virtual machines when anything has happened to a virtual machine or to a specific host in our cluster. So at this point in time a failure has occurred to H07, and we're going to have a look at H07 to see if we can actually see that something has happened to this specific host. So let's go to H07. As you can see, H07 shows a warning on the summary page, and the summary page indicates that an issue has occurred with the HA agent. In this case, the host itself has actually failed. So let's do a refresh and see if we can see anything changing in the UI. As you can see on the left side, the icon of the host itself changed, and this indicates that an issue has occurred. And on the lower right side at the alarm section you can see the alarms changing as well. Now let's go to the file server, which is the virtual machine that was restarted by HA. So let's go to the monitoring tab and let's look at the events. So I'm going to type in a keyword which is vSphere HA, and that allows us to look at all the events that are vSphere HA related, and in this case we can see that the virtual machine was restarted by vSphere HA around the time we had the host failure. We can do the same thing on the cluster level, so we can go to the monitoring tab again and we can go to the events section, and by typing in the vSphere HA keywords we can see all the events related to vSphere HA. And in this case we can see that the virtual machine file server 001 has been restarted. Now there's also the option to use PowerCLI to identify the virtual machines that have been restarted in your environment. So let's switch over to PowerCLI and take a look at which virtual machines were restarted recently. So we kick off this command, and this command allows us to see the virtual machines that were restarted in the last day. The top virtual machine is file server 001, and it has indeed been restarted today. So now we are going to switch back to the vSphere Web Client. The vSphere Web Client has got a very cool option which is called the log browser. So I'm going to click on Home, and we're going to the log browser itself. Now within the log browser we will have to select an object, and the object that we're going to select is going to be the HA master node, which was H05. As soon as we've selected this object, we will need to make sure we have the latest version of the log files in our vSphere Web Client view, so we're going to hit refresh. Now that the log files have been pulled down and the view has been refreshed, we can select a different type of log file. So in our scenario we will need to look at the FDM log files. And FDM stands for Fault Domain Manager, which is the engineering term for vSphere HA. Similar to the events we've seen earlier on in this demo, you can actually apply a filter to the log files itself. So we're going to apply a filter which in this case will be restart. So now we will see all the entries within the log files that contain the word restart, and we're going to look for a restart message around virtual machines. All the way down at the bottom it shows an FDM service event, and this is a VM restart event. So let's click on one of those. As you can see it refers to file server 001. But let's open it up to see more details. So as you can see, there are various ways within the vSphere Web Client to look at some of the events and some of the log files. I hope this was a useful demo. Thanks.